So you think I'm just a cheap knockoff? Time to set the record straight. Here are 10 reasons why I am not Scott Manley. No efficient haircut. Let's start with the obvious. Scott and me would hardly be mistaken for one another if you would just put us side by side. Probably the opposite of separated at birth. You may have noticed what Scott calls his efficient hairstyle. I sometimes envy him for that, to be honest. I mean, you can land rockets on it. This here may look fine now, but you don't want to know how it looks like in the morning. It's also not as efficient on the wallet as you can imagine. So yeah, no similarities at all. And yes, the beard is real. Scott knows his stars. Now this is a very significant difference. When Scott Manley talks about space science and astronomy in general, he actually knows what he's talking about. He has a degree both in physics and astronomy as well as computational physics and worked 5 years on his PhD getting paid to do astronomy, as Scott put it himself in an Ask Me Anything he did on Reddit a few years ago. In contrast, there's little old me. The only academia that I have to show for myself is my thesis I did for my master's degree in business administration. So, should there ever be a situation where Scott and I present contrary information about the same thing, you know who to really trust. Scott knows cooler people. One of the perks of living in the US is having the chance to meet a lot of interesting people. And if you have a successful YouTube channel, it only increases your chances to get into conversations with cool people. Scott, for instance, has had interviews with legendary game developer David Braben, who was responsible for the classic Elite and the current Elite Dangerous, and he got former astronaut Ed Lu to play Kerbal Space Program with him. Me, well, as a YouTuber, I am too insignificant for anyone to actively approach me at the time, and geographically too far away to randomly bump into anyone of interest. Here's hoping to a future where Scott Manley interviews Brian May. That would be something I'd like to watch. English. You might have already guessed by the way sounds come out of my mouth that English is not my native language. And yes, I know that I have pronounced variant and hyperbole wrong in the past. So much for the CPE certificate I did a few years ago. And yeah, Scott is originally from Scotland, so there is not really any discussion. And no, I am not German. Just because my accent sounds German does not mean that I am. Also, why would you care about such kind of thing? Never played EVE Online. Before Scott was mostly known for Kerbal Space Program, or before KSP was widely known at all, he made a few videos about EVE Online. I'm not sure if he still plays it, but I know that I never have. I also haven't played any of the other cool space games Scott has shown during the past years. You know, Elite Dangerous, Star Citizen, or Universe Sandbox 2. I actually have bought all of these games. I was even an early backer for Star Citizen. Never got around really playing any of them. I don't like Apple. You know, there are some things that just can't be explained. Some people don't like broccoli, others prefer one type of soda over the other. In contrast to Scott, who owns multiple Apple products, I don't. And I also don't want to. In my opinion, the last great Apple product in comparison to the competition was the iPhone 3GS. Okay, comment and dislike away. It's a purely personal thing though, just like I will always prefer Nikon to Canon when I'm in the market for a camera. Nothing rational behind it. I kinda stole my intro, but not from Scott. You can accuse me all you want of copying Scott Manley. In reality, I have stolen my intro greeting, "Hello everybody and welcome," from somebody else, which happened kind of accidentally. Back when I started doing YouTube videos, I was watching old Top Gear episodes in close succession. When I did my first voiceover, which was horrible by the way.
Hello everybody and welcome to my space shuttle.
I appear to have channeled my inner Jeremy Clarkson power, since he opened the show with the exact same words many times. I only realized this after I had already done a few videos, so I decided just to keep it. And it's not really such an original greeting if we're being honest. But hey, that's all of my channel according to some of you, just a bunch of unoriginal copycat stuff, right? Music. Okay, there's at least a modicum of similarity here. Scott and I both have interest in making music, but whereas Scott has become a DJ and owns almost 3,000 vinyl records, I'm a bit more old school. I was playing classical piano for 9 years and I have picked up the guitar when my midlife crisis started a few years ago. Also, while Scott appears to be a fan of electronic music, I prefer metal. Probably why nobody ever hired my services as a DJ. No beer. Those of you watching Scott's live streams know that he enjoys the occasional beer. I don't. I never liked the taste of beer. Same with coffee, by the way, which makes for awkward office conversation. Hey, wanna grab a coffee? Not really, but I'm willing to chat with you about non-work related things while we're being paid for it. And finally, the number one reason why I am not Scott Manley is the
Well, I am Scott Manley, and ShadowZone does not know how to fly safe. Also, he doesn't know how to secure his perimeter firewall, which is why I'm sending some rockets his way right now.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel for more and follow me on my social thingies. The links are in the description. Also, you can watch one of the 2 cool videos shown on the right. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.